Okay, so what I want to do is show you how to do something. This is super fast, super easy, just for fun. It's a way to play around with learning how to use Blender. Okay, let me start that over again. Okay, so what I want to do is I just want to show you a little bit how to use Blender. I just whipped this guy up in a couple of minutes. I want you to do the same basic thing. Your creature, whatever it is you make, doesn't have to look anything like mine. What I just want you to do is play with Blender and learn some of the basic tools and just get a general feel for it. All right? And we can build everything in Blender, but when I built this guy, because I wanted him to be easy to 3D print, so I wanted a nice base, what I did is I started in OnShape, and we're going to do the same thing right now. So I'm going to come over here to OnShape, and I'm going to create a new document, and I'll call this my ball base 2. All right, and I'm going to create it. And I'm going to do this, the revolve, just like you did the pawn, okay, or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and hide the top. I'm going to hide the right. I'm going to look at only the front. And there we go. And I'm going to throw, you've done this before, I'm going to throw a sketch onto this plane. And I want to make something that's, not very big. I'm going to say, well, I'll just do it. You guys can watch. I'm going to start a line. And I'm going to make it, I don't know, I'm just going to click. I'm going to say 15 millimeters. Okay. And I'm going to escape that line. And then I'm going to do another line. And I'm going to make this one 30 millimeters. Okay? And escape that line. So I want my entire object to fit here. And once again, just like you've done before, I'm going to take my spline. And what I want to do is I just want to make it, this is going to be really crude. I want to make a base. And then I'm going to make a ball. It doesn't even have to be a good looking ball. We're going to smash it and mutilate it and whatever else, right? So just make a kind of a ball. All right. So now I've got this shape. I'm going to say OK. And like you've done before, I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go to revolve. And I'm going to select this axis. And I'm going to select here. And I've got this sort of, well, it looks a little bit like a chalice or something, but I've got my little shape that I can play with. All right. So what I want to do now is I simply want to select this entire shape, right click, and I want to export, and this is important, make sure it's selected for STL. And make sure, a couple of things. I'm going to give this a name, ball base 2. And let's make sure that it's in millimeters and the resolution is fine. And I'm going to export it. Now on my PC, that's going to export into downloads. I'm not exactly sure where your Macs go, but you can see it goes into downloads for me. And I'm done with that. So let's go to Blender. And I'm going to make a new general. And I'm not even going to save this. All right. And this should, if you open up Blender, this should be basically where you start with this cube. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this darn cube. I just want to delete it. Okay, I just selected it and deleted it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to import my STL. And I want to go, in my case, to downloads. And I can see my ball base too. And you can see it's huge here, which is fine. Okay, so I'm using the wheel on my mouse. I'm going to zoom out. Now, there's one other thing I want to show you. And this is the way I like to do things. I like to be able to zoom in to a particular place. That's not a default setting. To do that, you want to go up here to Edit, Preferences, and under Navigation, I would suggest, this is just a suggestion, I think it works better, to zoom to mouse position. Okay, check that and then say OK, and now you'll be able to zoom in and out no matter where you are. Alright, so literally this first assignment, if they even call it that, is to simply play. Just, you're going to ruin it, smash it, squash it, just play with tools. You can see that my object here, if I click off, it's not highlighted. It is now highlighted. It's got the orange boundary around it. What I want to do now is I just want to go to sculpting. Okay. Once again, it's zoomed way out. So I'm taking my mouse wheel to zoom in. By the way, if I want to change views, this is going to be a little awkward for some of you who aren't familiar with a mouse. If you're using a school mouse, or if you have your own mouse, you push in on the scroll wheel, and that's a button as well. And to rearrange its orientation, I'll use the push in the scroll wheel. Don't roll it, just push it in, and then move the mouse around. And now you can see I have this ability to swing around in its viewpoint. Okay? But what I want to do now is that this is actually kind of important. You don't want to start just randomly. Come up here and make sure you're looking at a finite axis. I'm going to choose, obviously my object is completely round or whatever. If I click on this Y, it puts it in perfect orientation. I have my x-axis here. I got my z-axis. Okay, I'm sitting on my Y view. And that's going to be real important when it comes time to making something symmetric, like the head that I started off with, or the creature, or whatever it was. And here's where you just play. But I will give you a couple little clues. One is you're probably going to want, if you're making something like a head, you're probably going to want some symmetrical work. I would strongly encourage clicking on, for example, you can see now I'm on the x-axis. If I click X, all right, I now get 2 points, not 1. If I turn it off, I get 1 point. If I click on this X and I mirror it, I'll be able to act on both sides of my object at the same time. And there are lots of tools that we can use to act upon. One of my favorites is just this elastic grab. Now, another thing, before I push or pull on anything, there's a lot of variability here. The only thing that I actually routinely play with is the radius. And you can see now that I have an inner circle and an outer circle, that yellow circle. If I want to, that's going to be a very, in fact I will push it. I'm going to take and push in a little bit. You can see it just dents it a bit. All right, it's not a very big area. But if I open this up a little bit, my circle gets huge, and now I can literally just push and squish it. It's almost too big. I'm going to take it back a little bit. Okay. And I can start squishing my shape like a ball of clay. All right. Another one that's great to use is this grab. All right, and I can squish it like that. And squish. All right. It's just like working a ball of clay. Now you can see as I orient it, you can see that I'm starting to shape my ball of clay. Well, now what I want to do is I think I'm going to push down on it. Maybe I'll push up this way too. I'll push up. I'm going to make my little lower jaw, okay, like that. I'm going to push down on the front here some. Alright, so now I'm making sort of a profile. Let's just keep pushing, 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 like that. And then I can pull. I'm going to push down a little bit here. Let's pull up where I think I'm going to build some eyes. And I can pull out and push down, pull out. I'm just literally just forming it like clay. Okay, bring up the back of the head a little bit. Oh, it's looking like a little alien, I think. Let's come around here. Let's push this down a bit. We're going to push down the spaces here between where my eyes are starting to form, like that. Oh yeah, that's actually starting to take some shape. I'm going to push this in a little bit, something like that. Okay, so now we're getting some shape on it. Let's see, what else do I want to do? Well, let's draw some sort of a, start drawing some sort of a facial, a jaw. So I'm going to use, for that tool, I think I'm going to use this crease. This is the polished crease. And let's see, I'm going to get them kind of, I'm going to start here in the middle. Oh, let's make sure my size. Let me see, I'll start it and see what it looks like. That's not, let's make it, actually I'm going to make it a little tighter. And we're going to push, and we're going to start creasing that in. Maybe I want to make it bigger. I need to get a little more bold. Alright, something like that. A little shape to it. Now I'm going to take this one, which is a sharp crease, and I'm going to... Oh, that's probably almost too much. Maybe not. Let's see. Oh, that was a little more dramatic, but that's okay. We'll work with it. We're just playing right now. Alright, so now we've got a little bit of a funky, almost like a duck bill. Maybe I'll actually even go further with that. In fact, this is the fun part about this. Who knows what we're going to end up with when we're done. Alright, so now we've got some facial expression coming on here. I think now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some like a little bit of, this is the ball here. It actually adds like a blob. And I'm going to make it relatively, you can see what it kind of does here. I'm going to blob a little bit here on the front. I'm going to fill in these eyes a bit, make them bulge out a bit more. Oh, maybe even a bit more. Like that. There we go. That's looking kind of funky. And let's go back to this grab tool. And let's push that back a bit. Shape it out like that. And then I think I'm going to put, oh yeah, look at that. That's getting pretty cool. Okay. And now I think what I'll do is I'll make it pretty tight. And I'm going to put some eyeballs in it, like a little bit, like that. Okay. Man, we're getting, oh, let's put some nostrils on this guy. Can't have too many nostrils. Alright. So you can see we've taken a really, simple shape, and without a lot of effort, we've started to form something. And what I would suggest to do at this point, because you have nothing to lose, is just play with it, I'm almost afraid to ruin it. I actually kind of like the way he's looking. And we'll be able to just 3D print this. We can just put it on the printer and make it, and you can just get as crazy as you want. This is a lot of fun, this hook. So maybe we should give him, I don't know, let's give him some horn-like things. There we go. That's looking kind of cool. Alright, so that's all I really want you to do this first time out. We're going to try to make, these geckos or lizards, and that's going to take some effort. Probably keep it simple. We don't have a lot of time left in the class, but I really hope that we can get some cool sculpting in. So you'll have two-dimensional CAD work, three-dimensional CAD work, and then some three-dimensional sculpting. And we'll see where it goes, but hopefully this will get you started. And once again, I'll see you soon.